So the way that we evaluate motorcycle accidents for settlement of a personal injury case is, in principle, it's no different than the way you evaluate any other auto accident. The elements of damages are all the same. Your medical bills, lost earnings, pain, suffering, and inconvenience, type of injuries, and then whether there's any scarring or permanency to the injury. But motorcycle cases tend to be different because really of those last couple of categories. In the vast majority of auto accident cases, you won't have scarring and long-lasting injuries that we actually see in the vast majority of motorcycle crashes. As anybody who's been riding bikes for long enough knows, if you get road rash from being thrown from a bike, it's going to stick with you for a while. And so the important things to do after a motorcycle accident are a little bit different than they are after an auto accident. You want to be, for sure, documenting what the injury looks like at various stages. If you have a road rash up your arm, you're going to want pictures of it immediately after the crash, within the first couple of days, and then throughout the next couple of months, because that scar is going to heal differently if it's, for instance, if you have to cover it up from the sun over the summertime, the way that the pigment fills in afterwards might look different in the winter than it was if your crash was in the winter and you have the sun regularly coming down on the skin. So scarring is something that comes up in motorcycle crashes that doesn't typically come up in an auto accident. The other thing that comes up for settlement purposes in motorcycle crashes that's different than auto crashes is, in an auto case, you're always, almost always, you're protected by the framework of the car. And in a motorcycle case, you're never protected by the framework of your bike. And in fact, sometimes the bike can cause additional injury if it comes down on your leg. So in that regard, motorcycle cases are almost always going to have a higher settlement value in the same way that a pedestrian case would, because the impact of the other driver's auto on you is actually on you. It's not on the framework of the car, which is then bent, and the pressure and the impact is absorbed by the car. It's actually hitting your leg, or in some cases you're actually laying the bike down and then skidding along the ground. And so you want to be cognizant of the fact that these cases are different than auto accident cases in practice, but when you are thinking of what are the categories of damages that I'm going to be asking the insurance adjuster, or my lawyer is going to be asking the insurance adjuster to compensate me for, really the categories are the same, but it's a question of how we quantify the damages in those categories. Yeah. So a couple of different kinds of personal injury claims, right? You could have a slip and fall at a grocery store. That's a personal injury claim. A dog bite case is a personal injury claim. And auto accident claims are personal injury claims. The vast majority of claims that our office is dealing with are auto accident claims. Just because in Northern Virginia and in